momentum that this campaign has built up is really extraordinary. We have, cars for Kloppenburg, we have homemade yard signs, there's a Supreme Kloppenburg cocktail at a bar in Venice.
We want the recipe.
And, this is really, truly a grassroots effort. And that means, though, that we can't let up. We need to take it to the end. We need to finish by getting as many voters as possible, every voter possible, to the polls on Tuesday. We can't let up. We can't rest for a minute till 8 o'clock on Tuesday, April 5th. This race is so important. I know you know that. I know I can count on you because you know what is at stake. So let me back up a little, and you're very familiar with why we've gotten to this point. On December 8th, the Prosser campaign issued the famous press release that says his re-election will preserve the conservative majority on the court and will complement the work of Governor Walker and the new legislature. That's not what a justice does. Justice Prosser has said many times he has the most partisan background of anyone on the court. You can take the man out of the legislature, but you can't take the legislature out of the man. He works so well with the legislature and with this governor, but that's not what a justice does either. He has called the Chief Justice a very derogatory term and threatened to destroy her. Not only is that not appropriate in any workplace in Wisconsin, but that's not what a justice does either. I've been talking to people around the state about what a justice should do, and we're now up to 13,000 miles on my mother-in-law's Buick. What I'm telling people is that the court should not be a political or partisan body. Justices should not approach cases by looking for the outcome that will favor one political party or the other. Justices should be respectful to each other. Justices should focus on the law, on the job that you all elect them to do. The court, under our Constitution, is a separate and co-equal branch of government that should be an independent and check and balance on the other branches of government. Here's how I will approach being a justice on that court. And as you know, I interned for Justice Abrahamson many, many years ago. And as I've told some of you before, she taught me that in every case there are real people, real families, real businesses whose lives and interests are affected by the decisions that courts reach, and that the justices owe every one of them their very best effort and a careful, complete, and fair evaluation of the law and the facts. The law does affect all of us in ways that are profound and powerful. Our democracy does depend on our willingness to accept the decisions that courts reach as lawful, whether we agree with them or not. In every case, someone leaves the courtroom disappointed with the outcome, but they must leave believing that they had a fair day in court. And that's what this election is about. I am running to restore people's confidence that every person who appears before the Supreme Court will have a fair day in court. We know that elections matter and that this election matters. My commitment to you is the same as it was when I first announced back in December, and that is I will be an independent and impartial justice. 3 newspapers so far have endorsed me because I will be independent and impartial. The Wausau Daily Herald, the Appleton Post-Crescent, and the Green Bay Press Gazette. A nice geographic swath through the center of Wisconsin. I will be respectful to all the parties that appear before the court and to the other justices. I will apply the law to the facts without personal and political bias. I will move the court forward away from partisanship and away from personal quarrels. I will listen respectfully. I will have an open mind. I will approach every case with an open mind. I will, in short, be the kind of justice that you would want to hear your cases. It is an honor to be a candidate for Wisconsin Supreme Court Justice. I am reminded every day of how important the office that I'm running for is, and I am so humbled by your trust and confidence in me to be a good justice, to be a fair justice, to be a justice who respects the law and understands its power. I'm so honored to have you as my supporters like you who are concerned about the independence and impartiality of the court and who have done so much to help the campaign get this far. There are just 4 more days. We can win together. We will win together. There will be a landslide on April 5th with your help. It's not as inspiring as a get out the vote speech, but I think it's something it's important to talk about, and that are the attack ads. There are attack ads all over the place now, and some of us have noted how my opponent is a big First Amendment proponent when it's the Gableman ad or when it's his own ads, but when it's attacking him, all of a sudden he's complaining. So, and as you all know, none of those attack ads are mine. And in fact, my message has been very different from the third-party ads running supposedly in my favor against him. His message hews very closely to the attack ads that have been running against me. And I'm going to tell you how to talk about those. People have asked me, what do you say when they see these attack ads? So let's first talk about the 80-year-old farmer, because that's out there. And this was in Jefferson County. The Land Conservation Department had a program to protect the Rock County Priority Watershed. And I should back up. In every case, I'm doing the work of the Department of Justice, which is to enforce the law. And this program targeted farmers their fields were dumping sediment into this beautiful watershed that people live on, they fish in, they hunt around. And every farmer cooperated. They got technical assistance, they got financial assistance, they got paid to put their land in easements. Everyone cooperated except this guy. So the DACCAP, which was in charge, told DNR under the statute to refer it to us, and they did. And I sued him to get him into compliance. We had Judge Randy Koshnick, who ran against Justice Abrahamson in the last election. I remember to this day, because he was very eloquent, he told this farmer, if everybody broke the rules like you did, there'd be anarchy. And I'm thinking, well, that's pretty cool. So he ruled against him. He held him in contempt because he wouldn't do it. So instead we had him pay money so that we could pay Pheasants Forever to do what needed to be done on 7 acres. And he wouldn't pay that. So Judge Koshnick, when we moved for contempt in the Department of Justice, you have pretty standard papers. You ask for a little bit of money and you ask for a few days in jail but if they do what they need to do by a certain date, they don't have to do anything. So I did that, and Judge Koshnick says, that's not enough. And he told the farmer, if you don't pay this money by December, whatever it is, you're going to be in jail for 30 days. I didn't ask for that. That was Judge Koshnick. Wow. So he paid. He paid up, and Pheasants Forever did what they needed to do on the land, and he plowed it up. Oh. So I moved for contempt. This is I'm in front of Judge Olsvik now. Judge Olsvik found him in contempt. I waited a year. He didn't do anything, so I went back for contempt again with my standard papers, a few days in jail, and a little bit of money if he would just pay us so we could plant again. And and we're talking and arguing, and Judge Olsvik presses a little button. I don't know, maybe the judges here have a little button like that. Press a little button. And all of a sudden the bailiffs appear, and they put handcuffs on the farmer and take him away to jail. And this was over the weekend. We worked really, J.B. Van Hollen was the Attorney General when I made this motion for contempt. And we worked really hard to get the money we needed from him, and he got out of jail after a few days. So that's the story of the 80-year-old farmer. Pheasants Forever did the work again, and he plowed it up again. And so I've been talking with his grandchildren. They have committed to doing the right thing when they inherit the farm, and we'll deal with it then. So that's is it was important to the county to enforce against him to be fair to all of the other people who had complied with the law. That's what this came down to. Another attack ad says that I'm soft on crime. And I